Hey, hello everyone. Welcome. This is crew from Tolkien Collector's Guide, and we are here to have some fun. I have this giant box on my desk,
Mm.
and we're gonna pop this guy open live as we go through it, and very excited to see what we have here. It's from William Morrow, the HarperCollins USA publisher, and it is the Lord of the Rings set that releases in 1 week. So next Tuesday,
Mhm.
October 1st, those of us in the US get 9 days of extra time with this set. It doesn't
Which
release
is
in the UK.
appalling, really.
You know what?
That's
That's nice for once. That's
You
nice
know,
for once.
terrible. Something's gone
yeah.
wrong. Seriously wrong.
Troy, you're
Well,
gonna
you
have to hear
know,
about this for the next 9 days.
I know.
it's
Something's seriously gone wrong.
we're going to lord it over you for 9 days because you've been able to lord it over us since 1937. So it's
You've had your
it's-
time. It's our time now.
Exactly. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. This is the packing box. So I have not cracked it open yet, and all I can say at this time is that it is. It says that it is 9 pounds.
It very much looks like it's 9 pounds.
Exactly. I don't care what I
You're not
do
quite
to the
under the
cardboard.
camera at the moment, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Move
that's
it
the
over.
that's the that's the
You
mailing
want to come
box.
in here?
So just go ahead and
That's
destroy that. Yeah.
that is a hard camera to
Alright.
work under. So
So here
very
is
well packed here.
okay.
Okay.
And there's the publisher's box inside there.
Yep. All right, I'm going to move it out from the top down. So why don't you go back to the side view just so
Okay.
I can lift this out of the box.
Okay.
There you
Go
go.
back on the side view.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat wants us to go straight to unbox. They don't care about our
I know.
About
No chit chat.
no pleasantries, no opening pleasantries. Show us the goods.
All right. So something that HarperCollins has told us that they're going to do for all of the higher end sets at this point. So the deluxe editions and the slipcase sets, et cetera, is these shipping boxes, which help protect the books themselves from corner bumps and things like that.
Yeah, they started doing that after the first History of Middle Earth box. They started making that standard. So about what, the last 9 months or so.
Exactly. So
Okay.
first view of the
All right.
detailed sheet, but I wanted to highlight just how thick the cardboard is that they're wrapping around this. This is when you order
That's
these
quite
and you
good.
get them online.
That is
there's
quite good.
a
That's
very
like
good chance it will show up with absolutely no corner bumps at all. Because
Yeah, how does the box look, Jeremy? Corners are good.
Oh, absolutely. This thing is rock solid.
Okay.
And
The
shrink wrap, no damage at all. I'm going to go ahead and get this shrink wrap
do we
pulled
have
off.
do we have a bone knife to open that?
I did, and then I misplaced it while I was chatting
Okay.
with you guys before we started. So
Oh, it came
thankfully,
off
it's
pretty
pretty
easily.
easy. It
Okay.
is pretty easy. So I like to always save these.
Oh, yeah.
I have them
I hate
going
that,
back
yeah.
years.
Oh yeah, saving the publisher's slip is a must.
I know. It's very, all right. Cloth slipcase with
It's a nice
highlighted.
Is that
It's
nice
very nice.
charcoal gray there?
It is kind of a matte blue, I would say,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
close to a darker gray. But let's. I'm going to go to.
Looks like it looks a little grayish on my end, but it's hard to tell.
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
much more gray than
Okay.
the.
What is that? What do we think that is actually on there then?
That
The-
is-
it's
That looks like
There's
it's by a door, isn't it?
looks like
it's by a
what?
door. No,
I think it's
by a
part of door. It's
down
got
blue.
the little prongs for Sauron's eyeball on
and then
it.
there
Yeah,
there's
Minas
Minas Tirith. Okay.
Yep. The silver
Excellent.
gilt on the.
Well, the thing is, have they spelt his name
Back
right?
up a
It
little
looks
bit.
like they have.
Yep.
Yes, J.R.R. Tolkien is spelt correctly. That's good.
That's good.
It's good.
Looks like like a navy blue there, Jeremy.
Yep. The let's start with the fellowship here. Alan Lee illustrations on each of the front boards.
We got Hunt for the Ring there on the cover.
Yeah.
Monogram
His
on the back.
initials on the back, and then let me find.
That
Look at-
looks quite a bit. The
Show us
colours
the,
look like the
The
original
folio.
1 volume edition.
Jeremy, show us the top stain.
Yeah, very nice,
Very
deep blue top
Okay.
stain, painted
Ooh.
edges,
Painted edges, very nice.
blue bottom stain. Don't see a bottom stain very often.
You don't see painted edges very often. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I know. That's
I mean,
really
that's a
cool.
new one.
And
So that was
is that two
two
tower?
tower. That
What's
was two
the-
towers. I'll bring it back up again for us to. That looks
What's
like
the cover? What's the
Helm's
cover on Two
Deep.
Towers?
I want to guess that's Helm's Deep.
Okay.
Yes, that is.
Okay.
That sounds deep. Yeah.
I can't look at
That
it
is,
directly
yep.
because I'm holding it to the camera, but Return of the King.
Return of the King.
And that obviously
Excellent.
is terrific again.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And let me put these back in order just to show. I think you get a good view of the painted edges here of the ring under the.
Okay, that's the ring at the
Oh,
bottom.
bottom
The ring at the bottom of
That-
Anduin.
Yep.
That picture, didn't Alan paint that especially for these books? That's the new
I think
picture
so.
he did.
He
Yeah,
did.
that's the
Yes,
new one.
he did.
Yeah.
I just pulled this out of the
Oh, that's
front
nice.
of Fellowship. You
Yeah.
get your own little
Is that in
piece
the-
in there.
Does each book have one of those? I'm assuming.
Not
It
necessarily.
does. So
Oh, it does, okay.
Two Towers, and
Does that feel like cardstock, Jeremy? The coming out
it's
of there?
a very thick cardstock. Yeah, there's nothing on the back. It's just meant for display. But so
Oh,
the art
I
that they're
wondered
showing.
again if they're new artwork as well, because I'm not sure.
I
they don't
heard that
look
there
that
is
obvious.
new artwork in here.
I wonder if those pictures are.
They're
those are
staying
fresh.
with the two color.
So the
Printing?
titles in red. It looks like. And
Yeah, and black, red and
Okay.
black.
Titles,
black,
red
okay.
and black for that one. Ooh, I kind of like having the ring verse in red there.
Very nice. And
Yeah.
where are these printed, Jeremy?
Graphicom in Italy. So that's the printer that does the Folio Society edition. Let's see if I can. I don't know
Yes.
if you guys can read that, but
It's
I can at
also
least hold it
the-
up to the camera.
They also did the recent deluxe editions as well.
They did.
when
They
stopped
the
using
Graphicom-
Rotolito.
Graphicom's
Yeah.
doing the Tolkien
The
illustrated.
Hobbit.
editions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
Hobbit
Yeah,
ones
the
were
Hobbit.
in there.
Mhm.
Before I go too much further, I
that's
wanted
nice.
to
Oh, that's nice. Very
pick
very
up the
good.
slipcase is fully
That's
illustrated.
very good. I like
Very
that.
good. What is that artwork inside there, Jeremy? What is that?
That's Mount Doom, isn't it? With the
That's
hobbits.
Mount. There's
Yeah, the
Frodo
Okay.
and Sam standing up on the cliff edge there.
Very nice. Very
as
nice.
the lava's coming. Get this a little bit out of the way. And back in, so the other thing to mention is at the back, loose
There's a map.
is the map. I do kind of like that they're going with the loose maps now so that you can enjoy them.
I like the loose maps because you can take them out and you can move them around and it's better than
Yep.
it's better than being fastened to the back of the book because then you can take them out and really
Yep.
look through them.
Yeah, they've been in the books. It just doesn't work that well anymore. I
Yep.
think it's better to take them out.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're moving that direction.
So I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you could read it, but list of
Yeah,
plates
plates.
in the Fellowship. I'll flip through this book in a moment. Actually, if you want to go to
Yeah, that sounds
the
Oh,
other
yeah,
camera
right
there.
Let's do that.
right. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, just flipping through this paper is I can't see through it at all. It's not thin like the one volume editions use much thinner paper to make it a manageable thickness. But this paper is really thick.
Obviously, the real question here is, does it have the notes on the text, and how many of them has it got? The most important part of the whole book. How many of them does it have?
Does look at those chapters.
Very nice, aren't they? They're very good.
Flip back over to Jeremy. Flip back over to one of the chapter titles.
Sure. Yeah.
So you've done an illustration on those. Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
illustration on the edge as
Yeah,
well.
those
So
are
there's-
very
they're
nice.
very nice.
Very very
Illustration sketch around the title. I wanted to come here. I just randomly
That looks a
opened to
bit sort of William Morris type printing books. These look like. I think they might be.
Yeah, I do like the design around the edge. It is on bright white paper. The text is on a slightly creamier paper, but the plates are obviously inserted separately. They're not printed on the same paper as the text. So
Does
that's-
how's the thickness of the text paper, Jeremy? Is it thinner or
it feels really good. No, this is not what we got with the one volume editions that we've seen recently. It's,
right.
To me, it's feeling really nice.
Okay.
We got a bookmark.
And you got the ribbon. Okay.
The ribbon in there.
That's nice.
The plates, I'd have to crack open other volumes that have the exact same plates to compare, like print quality, color reproduction. They're feeling good just looking at them in here.
Yeah, that one's good, isn't it? That's come out very well, it looks like.
Yep. So it's been really well printed. I always love just with the 4-edge painting and seeing the little bit of illustration as I'm flipping through.
We don't get that very often, so that's quite a nice touch.
Yeah, I wanted to come in here and see.
So that's why it's not done that often.
Yeah.
You got Moria there. You've got the Moria door.
That looks really nice.
It's really nice.
It does. Yep. Impressive. I'm really happy with this. Look at that.
We've got some.
It's great, isn't it?
We've got people want to know in the chat, is it a glued binding or a sewn binding? It looks sewn to me based on what
I'm going to say sewn, but I'm going to see if I can. Apologies for pulling it away from the camera here momentarily, but it's definitely sewn. I have no idea if I can get this close enough, but you can see the pinch of the threads.
I can see that. Yeah, definitely a sewn binding there.
Definitely sewn, and if I look down from the top, there's.
Yep, there it is. There's your sewing right there.
Yep. And it's glued as well for support, but it's sewn gatherings in there. Plain blue end sheets.
And then.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to switch to a different volume, but keep chatting.
We were chatting a little bit before we unboxed, and we were thinking about how this compares to other 3-volume Lord of the Rings Deluxe from over the years. The folio set comes to mind that released a couple years ago, and then the other set, Trotter has it in his background behind him, the Centenary 92 set that was released over 30 years ago now. So this
looks a lot a big advance, I think, on the Centenary edition in terms of the printing and the plates and the reproduction. So I'd be interested to compare it with that one, but this definitely looks a lot better to me.
It's a standard trade hardcover size.
Yeah.
The box made it seem a lot bigger when it was shipped because I had 2 layers of shipping cardboard on it. But
it looks, I don't have my own set yet because it's not released, but it looks to me like if you missed out on the folio set from a couple years ago, this is a pretty good substitute. I would say it's got a few touches that the folio set doesn't even have.
It looks like it. Well, that doesn't have the 4-edge, so that's
no. It's blue leather, quarter bound, and it is stamped gilt on the spine. It's not just printed on. I think it will hold up.
People are asking how it compares to the folio set. People are asking how the color of the blue how does it compare to the Tolkien Illustrated Silmarillion that was released last year. It looks like it's a slightly different blue. Looks like it's a bit more navy than the.
It's different color.
It's darker. It's a little bit darker.
Definitely a darker blue than the Silmarillion that came out recently. What's another?
People want to know how many. People want to know how many new plates are in this particular volume. Yeah, there you go.
And this is another one that might get compared to. This is a 1-volume edition, but
okay, it's a little bit darker blue than all that.
It's a nice. I like this darker.
Yeah, it's like a nice navy color.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the other nice thing about it as well is it looks like they're not as heavy, those books, because the Folio Society ones are extremely heavy to read.
Yeah,
they don't look like these ones are.
The Folio Society books are coffee table books. They're very much coffee table books. These look like they would be, if you wanted to read these, they would be easier to read, definitely. The maps are great.
I saw Sean ask about the maps again, so I pulled one back out. This one was in Fellowship.
Jeremy, turn it around. It's upside down.
Doesn't matter.
I can't even. I'm holding it up to the camera, so I can't even.
Not that we don't know it by heart, but
yeah. So it is. Let me see.
Have they got the Gondor one as well? The produced.
I'm
Rohan
sure.
Gondor?
Yeah.
Let's see. Phil wants us to show page 1083, Appendix B.
All right. Let me get there in a second. 1083. You said.
Yeah. I don't. Phil, why do you want us to show? You want to see the appendices? Is that what it is? It does have the appendices. Breaking news. It does have the appendices.
The layout looks good. Dual color print. Footnotes are there.
Okay, awesome.
I don't know if he's looking for something in specific on this, but
that looks
you never
nice.
know if
That
they've made.
that looks really good. Are the years red? Looks like.
Yes, the
Yes.
year numbers are red on the printing. I know it's hard to differentiate, but in person, it really pops. The red color is nice. It's not a bright like Tolkien Collector's Guide red. It's a little bit more of a brick red. And then you guys had asked about the other map.
Oh yeah, the Return of the King map.
So
very nice.
Yes, that's great. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if I can do this. Hold up the book with it just to get a sense of how big the map is. With
it's a nice big map.
It's about the right size.
Yep.
I don't think you want them much bigger than that, really.
No, it's a great size, and it's really, really well printed.
Jeremy, can you
like the resolution is?
Can you hold up the? I see you've got the Houghton Mifflin 50th anniversary there. Can you hold that up? Can you hold up the colors again, just so I can see?
You want to see the?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a nice subtle blue. I like that next to that gray. That might be a good shelving order actually to put those next to that one.
I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you show us one new illustration?
I've got to go find one new illustration, but certainly. Let's see if.
Well, I think the 4-edge one was one of the new ones.
Yes, definitely.
That's true.
And from what we understand, all of the illustrations from the folio set are in this edition.
Yeah,
plus
all the new ones as well.
Plus a few new ones.
I'm really liking the title page here on the Return of the King. The tree.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice touch. That's something new. Definitely in a HarperCollins edition. That's something new.
Yep. I mean, I just cracked this open, and they're not labeled as new illustrations or not. But
that might be a new one.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't. The plates aren't labeled, which are new. We'll have to go through those and see what we can find. We'll obviously have an article written up here.
Yeah, we'll have to do a quick comparison once we've had some time to really go through it. Well, we can post a list of what's new.
Yep, exactly. And we mentioned at the very beginning. I'll mention it again now. This is the U.S. William Morrow edition, but it is identical except for the publisher's logo on the spine and the copyright information. They're all printed at Graphicom in Italy, same printer that Folio Society uses. This is coming out in 1 week. So October 1st, which is a Tuesday in the US. And then October 10th is the official release date in the UK. And given HarperCollins standard operating procedure these days, if you ordered from the HarperCollins website, you'll probably have it by the 6th or maybe the 7th. They ship them 3 or 4. Yep.
Yeah. We might get next weekend.
It looks like we are, based on the responses in the chat, it looks like we have influenced a lot of people to order this. Like some people were on the fence, and now they're saying that they just placed their order.
It's I would definitely recommend ordering this. It's for recent Lord of the Rings editions. This is by far my favorite. Probably going back. This is my reading copy when I am when I just want to enjoy a set because the paper quality, the leather binding, but it's one volume and it is heavy. And I always prefer the 3-volume editions just for my own reading habits. It feels better to hold 1/3 of the story rather than all of it in
And
my hands and lap.
and that edition's out of print now, the 50th Houghton Mifflin one. So
It is,
yeah.
but it's and so I'm gonna have to give this one a read through, see how the contrast on the paper quality, et cetera, holds up. But I'm looking at it right now. I expect this to be my new favorite. Just the the two-tone print, the paper quality is really good. I saw Dale, I think, asked recently again. These are definitely sewn signatures. We showed the threads in a quick zoom in earlier. I can see them now as I'm holding this. Probably this camera is not a good one to look at it, but
Oh yeah.
it's possible to see the sewn, the thread holding
Mhm.
the gatherings together if you crack it open there. It does. It's not too bad at laying flat up front.
What's the Jeremy, is the
Uh-huh.
are the outer boards, are they paper, or are they cloth? What are the is it quarter bound cloth, quarter bound?
It is cloth over. It's cloth wrapped over the boards.
Mhm.
Let's go to the front camera here. And get that up in there so you can see the cloth
Yeah.
wrapped in here, the quarter leather. It's the silver design around the artwork is stamped in, again, not just printed on the cloth, but it's embossed.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice touch.
And then there's hard to describe here, but there's a rectangular emboss that's inset into the cloth, and then the illustration is pasted into that rectangle,
Okay.
so that it doesn't stick up. Right, it's not off the board and liable to get caught when you're putting in a slipcase or something. So there's an inset rectangle that the artwork is then pasted onto the board. So I think that's a nice touch. Sometimes when you paste an illustration onto a board, it sticks out above the board, just the thickness of the sticker. And then when you're putting in the slipcase, you get it caught on the edge and it slowly wears over time. But this one's inset. And we mentioned at the beginning, I just absolutely love that it has bottom stain as well as top stain.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the illustrated foredges. I'm going to
Put them
pull
together
up.
again.
I-
'cause they
yeah.
look
I
nice.
know they go so well together. But
I really like
here's
the staining.
The
That's
set of
a really
three.
nice touch. Yeah.
That's great, isn't it? That's
Alan
really
Lee's
impressive.
illustration of the
Show
ring
the
at the bottom of the river.
Jeremy, show the box again for people who are just now joining. People are asking about
Sure.
About the box.
No, it's
About
a
the
good
box.
question. I put it down here. So the box is the same grayish dark blue cloth of the
Mhm.
that the boards are for the books. As we've mentioned, this is from William Morrow, but other than this little logo, it's going to be identical when the HarperCollins UK ones ship. It does have one of Alan Lee's illustrations. The lighting's not the best for a dark illustration, but all 5 surfaces are with an illustration of Mount Doom, the eruption of Mount Doom.
Yeah, nice touch.
And I'm going to, everybody asks, super easy to slide in and out. This is not tight. They're easy.
Should we break out the tape measure and measure the centimeters of the gap in the slipcase?
There is a very.
That's very good to me.
I'm going to say it's like 2 millimeters or so of wiggle room.
Yeah,
so
no, that
the boards, I don't feel like there's give in the boards, where they're bending because there's too much airspace. It's perfect. It's a great fit. So we do have the 2 maps. I didn't even actually pull out the 2 towers maps. It should match the fellowship map. Oh, it is possible I misplaced it because I've been shuffling, but I think I got 2 maps, which is probably what they, where's the data sheet for this? Here it is.
looks like
Says page edges, 3 art cards. Yeah, okay. So based on their own description, the set comes with 2 maps. So they don't duplicate the Western Middle Earth map in both the Fellowship and the Two Towers. They give you,
So
because
just
it's
two.
removable, they just give you one copy and you can use it with either of the books. So it comes with two maps.
In regards to Ian's question, Jeremy did hold it up to the Silmarillion, Tolkien illustrated Silmarillion, and
Yeah, I can do that again.
The spines are quite similar. I don't think they're identical, but they're quite similar though.
Design is similar. They did not use the signature that they did on the Silmarillion, right? They went with text. Yeah, my Silmarillion's held up really well. I know some people have complained of the gilt coming off. You can see I have a tiny little bit of rubbing there from manufacturing.
You need to be careful with that book and don't touch it. Yeah. Well, I don't think the new ones are like that.
Especially if you got a first printing, I would be careful with the. But in regards to the question about the spine, I mean they're very, very similar. That seems to be the design that HarperCollins is going with for the spines of these deluxe editions.
Yep. And let's see, I pull up the recent
there you go.
one volume. My camera struggles to focus on it. Essentially,
that
identical layout.
The next to the red, that makes the blue look. That might be the way to shelve it. Actually, it makes the blue and the red really look nice together.
Those do look really good together. And I must say, I vastly prefer his typed name to the signature name. Looking at these two right now.
I do as well. Actually, I'd rather have the printed out name on the spine than the signature.
Well, it's more classic, isn't it, for book binding?
Yeah, and I know that HarperCollins wants to slap the signature on everything, but it's okay to use it a little less, I think.
Yep.
Well, it's a trademark, so they've got to trademark things.
Yep. Yeah. So I thought, thickness-wise, I'm just grabbing random other editions to compare with. It's obviously a lot thicker than the one volume editions. Same number of pages, but the page to the paper is a lot thicker. So you don't get the transparency effect where you're looking at the page. You don't see the text on the other side.
Sorry, they're definitely thicker books than the original 1991 free volume, but they were taller. So I think what they've done is they've made them, and that's a nicer size. I think you want to get. That's a good size, I think, for a book, isn't it? That's a good size. Yeah.
This is perfect. I have large hands, but this is my preferred size. This is a standard hardcover. I don't have a tape measure here at my desk, but your standard hardcover height. You got the collected poems behind me. It's identical height to the collected poems volumes. So it's I'm really happy. This is awesome. I can't wait to see the HarperCollins one. I have to wait a couple of weeks at least for that to come from the UK, but this is still up for pre-order, both US and UK. 1 week from today is the official publication date. I see a question, is the paper as thick as HarperCollins' Dust Jacket edition? Are you talking, I assume you're meaning the recent illustrated one?
They either mean that one or they mean the maybe the box set that came out a few years ago.
So here you can kind of see in the lower corner, it is a lot thicker than the one volume illustrated. This edition here, when I look at pages,
we would expect that to be thicker than the one volume edition. There's no way that
Yep. So
there's no way that they could put out a one volume edition with paper that thick.
Exactly. And they've taken advantage of it here. You know, the thicker paper, I don't know if I can get to that exact page, but yeah. So this on the, can you switch down to top down? So this is the recent one volume illustrated by the author. If you look, you can see the text from the other side of the page because of the paper thickness. And this is the same page on the new edition. Paper's much thicker. The legibility is much better. It you don't get the bleed through from the thinner paper showing. I'm very happy with the paper quality. Spine, I'm looking at comments. People are saying the spine feel compare. I am extremely happy. It's really hard on a stream like this to show the quality of the leather, but they've gone with a very nice quality leather on this one. Let me pull up some other ones to see.
Yeah, I would assume that it's going to be a lot like the author illustrated leather. So if anybody out there, if you've got those, it's probably, I mean, am I wrong in that, Jeremy? It's probably really close to that kind of feel.
It's to me, it feels like a nicer leather.
Okay.
It's like this author illustrated one. I don't know if it shows well in this view, but it's got a pretty good grain to it. And this one, the new illustrated one, it feels really nice. It's not as shiny. It doesn't have the gloss, but it also doesn't really show grain. So I'm going to guess it's a high quality but manufactured leather.
We've got does the spine have raised bands at all? We got a question in the chat about that.
They are embossed, so they're inset rather than there's actually there is this is going to be really hard to show on the camera, but there is the tiniest amount of raised banding between the two silver bars. I don't know if that's even possible to see on this camera angle, but there's the very slightest bump. It's
yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not a raised band. It's just because of the embossed silver bars, it kind of makes the blue band feel a little raised, but it doesn't really feel like a raised band. Like this this edition, I don't know if it's easier to see at all, but this one had a much more defined raised band, which again,
it's hard to
raised
tell.
Band. It is really hard to tell, but raised bands were originally an artifact of the binding itself. When you strapped the gatherings together, there was literally something holding them all together that would then show through. These are just cosmetic raised bands. So,
Dale wants to know, is the Book of Miserable art included? I don't think I saw that.
I don't think it is. No, it is not in. This is an Alan Lee illustrated edition.
You'll have to get the author illustrated edition if you want the Book of Miserable.
Yeah, and if you go with the red leather one, you'll actually get removable cards. So. Yeah, the plates are all Alan Lee illustrated artwork. So
quite a lot of plates in there.
Yeah, each book has 20 or so 60 plates total. Again, I have not had a chance to compare this with the folio, but we were told that there was new art in this edition compared to the folio edition.
Yes.
You'll see how there's this art print listed in the list of plates. I just thought I'd pull that up and show. It is new. Obviously, it's a 2024 date, but
that is definitely a new.
Will you, Jeremy? Will you show will you show one of the chapter artwork headings again?
Absolutely. Those are.
I think we saw Three's Company. Maybe there you go. Shadow of the Past.
Yep, and you've got a little hobbit hole up at the top, the knotwork around the edges. So it's more than just a little bit of knotwork. There's actually a little micro illustration in there.
Is each one individualized for the chapter, or are they all standard? I'm
gonna jump back into here. You can see the Bridge of Khazad-dûm is actually the Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Awesome.
And then it's got dwarven,
that's a nice
Peter Jackson style dwarven knotwork around the edges for it. So
yeah, that's a very nice touch.
Yeah, so I think every chapter has Council of Elrond. Every chapter has a unique heading wrapper on it. So this is the Valley of Rivendell, looks like, the Council of Elrond.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I am sold.
Well, I would say I'd go out and order one if I had not already done so.
I mean, I'll admit that I've been sold for a while now, but I'm even more sold now. Is that is the publisher slip like a blue color? It's like a
It is
yeah.
color. Okay.
Yep. It's
And
very
does it say
different
it's
from
limited on there? Any mention limitations? Hopefully not, because I don't think it is.
It's probably not limited. I would guess not.
It shouldn't be. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I want as many people as possible to have this wonderful edition.
Yep. There's no limitation statement on the description here on the card. It does say it's heavyweight acid-free paper. Again, the paper, I'm super happy. It's these recent one-volume editions. There's been some cool features in them, but the limitations of printing in one volume make it really hard to have really high quality paper. And I'm very happy with the 3-volume choices they've made here.
Jeremy, there's a question in the chat about the book ribbon, like the color and the quality of it. It looked pretty. It looked fine to me when I saw it.
So it is. What is the best? It is
Silver.
A silver
Right.
blue, a little bit lighter than the board color. As with all ribbons, you're going to get a little bit of fraying at the bottom. That's just perfectly normal because they're woven, and then you cut them, and then they start to fray a little bit. But that's how ribbons work.
Let's see. We're getting questions about rough measurements of the maps. I mean, it looked like poster size, and not small poster size on the maps there.
I just put the books down on the maps. So I'm going to have to move the books back off of that again. So they are.
They look maybe like what 1.5 by 2, maybe something like that.
Probably a little bit less than that. Let's see, these books are what, 8 inches tall, so about a foot by 16, 12 by 16, if I had to guess. Let me see if I have, so this from the author illustrated edition that came out a little while ago.
Yeah, I think the map's bigger than you one.
Yeah.
So this one, well, the paper's bigger, but on the left and right sides.
I forgot about that. I forgot how they kind of cut it off like that.
They shaped it. So let me hold that one up, and then so this is the previous author illustrated map, and then in front of it, I will hold. So the map itself is identical. The illustrated edition had the white pillars. Because they printed the map on paper that was slightly larger. So the map is actually exactly the same size as the author illustrated edition, but the paper is smaller because the author illustrated edition map had white borders on the left and right because of the aspect ratio. So this one is definitely doesn't have a lot of wasted space. I think this would frame a lot better if you're into that sort of thing. If you want to take the map out and frame it, it's the margins on it are pretty equal around all 4 edges, a little bit wider on the left and right. But and again, it's hard to tell on a live stream, but the print quality of the map, the paper is a heavier cardstock. The text is really easy to read, even the really small lettering that's down there on the rivers in Gondor and stuff like that. It's the same map. I mean, they're using the same art files. This is not an updated map, but the print quality is excellent.
So you get more. Same question about the Book of Miserable. No Book of Miserable. It's just Alan Lee illustrations.
Yeah. So Jim just asked for new collectors this over any other 3-volume edition. So for the ones that are Easy to find, I would say absolutely. This one's a little bit pricier, but I think the build quality, the manufacturing materials are worth it for this one. It is list price $325 in the US. And Andrew, do you remember what the list price is?
250.
250 pounds.
That,
So
that
it's
will,
more expensive.
that will probably, after release, that will probably come down a tad, because that tends to happen with the price. But
Absolutely.
it's not going to come. I don't know if it'll come down a whole lot, but it will come down after release
Yep.
day.
And secret tip for you collectors who like the British editions, subscribe to HarperCollins or watch our calendar and our news site. They often have between 30 and 50% discount sales. So for example, this set you can get for 125 pounds if you time it right with your sale offerings, which
Right.
is not often, but they do show up and we do try and advertise them. Some of them are only a few hours long. Sometimes it's a day or two, but those sales are really helpful.
The 50% ones are not for very long normally. You need to get in quick with those.
Yep. So you asked about other 3-volume editions. I am going to, sorry, Andrew, I'm putting you on the spot here. If you look behind Andrew, there's the limited edition 3-volume folio and the 3-volume HarperCollins from '92.
Mm-hmm.
I know other people love them. I didn't like this folio set. I did not get the Lord of the Rings set myself, but that's just personal taste. They're so large, but the artwork reproductions were excellent. And we're going to have to wait, since Andrew has that and I have the new set, we can't put them side by side for a couple more days. Probably by the weekend, I think we'll be able to compare them.
Well, all 3 of those we'll compare on the site. We'll compare
absolutely.
all three
Yeah, we'll write up we'll do a short article on and comparing those.
Yep, absolutely. I love the green leather. That's one of my favorite 3-volume editions, but it was limited to 250 copies in the UK and an additional 250 copies for Australia, New Zealand, if I'm remembering correctly.
That's correct.
So they are hard to find at this point. But if you are looking for a high-end 3-volume edition, that's one of the better ones to look for. This new edition has many more illustrations. Alan Lee has done a lot of updated work. I think reading the marketing material, the 3 pieces that they put on the front covers and gave these removable cards are all new. These were commissioned specifically for this set, according to the marketing materials.
Shipping to the U.S. Typically, HarperCollins doesn't ship to the U.S., but Amazon UK typically will ship to the U.S. and Blackwell's will ship to the U.S. as well.
Yep, there's probably a half dozen. There's
awesome books as well.
Kenny's bookshop in Ireland does a really, I'd have to say for packaging and quality of shipping, like the care that the books show up in reasonable quality. Kenny's is a great one to go with.
Doesn't Awesome Books ship to the U.S. as well?
Yes. Or did they stop? Or no, they do. I think. Yeah.
Or they used to. Yeah.
They used to. Yeah.
Which
because these come in a nice box, they should be okay. I think.
Yeah, they should be okay.
Yeah, we showed that at the very beginning. I'm going to pull it back up. This is the HarperCollins shipping container that the set came in. So you can see it's folded cardboard that's almost a ½ inch thick around all edges. And the box set inside it, for me, came with absolutely no bump corners or anything that you sometimes get with shipping. They don't treat the boxes very nice, in the back of the truck for FedEx or the Postal Service, etc.
Got a question about how it compares to Easton Press. Jeremy, do you have an Easton Press volume you could pull off the shelf?
I don't have Lord of the Rings handy, which
I'm assuming
just binding wise.
I'm assuming they're asking maybe about the leather or the binding, I would guess.
Yeah, this one happened to be close by. Apologize for not having a Lord of the Rings handy, but so I'm feeling this leather and I'm trying to compare it with the leather that was on these.
Because Easton Press uses a composite leather, So
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is composite leather, but I could be wrong. We'll need a little more time to
Uh,
investigate this leather, but it doesn't
I
have a grain.
suspect it probably is.
mhm.
There's no grain on the blue, the
On
new
the
set.
blue, yeah.
It feels really nice, but uh, and it's more. And again, this is really hard to get across in camera, but you can see. I'll hold up the reflection. So this is a glossy leather, and
Mhm.
this is a very matte leather, right? It
Okay.
doesn't have that glossy, reflective characteristic to it that you get in the Eastern Press green leather. So.
If the binding is very similar, I mean, I recommend. I mean, Eastern Press bindings are fantastic. They're really good they hold up to repeated reads. So
Mhm.
if this is anything like the Eastern Press bindings, I mean, this should hold up to repeated reads as well.
I'm just getting a feel for, laying this on the desk.
Hmm.
There's, the leather pulls off from the cloth backed spine, which is sewn, as we've mentioned a couple of times, but people are joining and leaving. It's definitely sewn signatures. Um, it lays flat pretty well while I'm reading it. Binding wise, I think this is going to hold up to many repeated readings. This is a good angle you can actually see the threads for the sewn binding down there in the gutter.
Yeah, it seems like this set if you wanted to use this set as a reading copy set, you could. It doesn't seem like you would just have to kind of leave it sitting on the shelf, and that's the only way you keep it pristine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, reading it is going to add some wear and tear.
Obviously.
So if you're, well, yeah, but if you're as a reading copy,
It's not a reading copy. This. Look at the pictures and possibly read something.
I'm going to read this. I mean, this feels fantastic.
I mean,
I like the paper quality, so I'm going to use this as a reading copy.
There's an experience to reading sometimes as well. If you want to feel, sometimes if you have a nicer book, it can help you get into the story maybe a little bit more.
I'm smelling the paper.
But I mean, personally, I'm with Trotter. I'm not going to use this as a reading copy. I've got paperback reading copies, but I think it could. Yeah, I think you wouldn't feel. I guess what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't feel afraid to pull it off the shelf and handle it.
No, you don't think it's going to fall to bits. That's
and that's a little. I will say I don't feel that way about the folio edition that came out a couple years ago. I don't take those off the shelf and handle those very much.
Yep.
They're too heavy.
They're too heavy.
They are too heavy.
They're too heavy, and the box is too flimsy.
Yeah.
Case, I had a question. I'm going to pop it back up. And obviously, with people joining and leaving, we're going to get repeated questions, which I think is fine. But we mentioned at the very beginning as well that this HarperCollins for this specific edition is not using their standard printer that they've used for other deluxe editions. They switched to Graphicom in Italy for these, which is the same printer that Folio Society uses. So I don't have the red illustrated Folio Society that you can see behind Trotter up on the screen. Personally, to compare, we're going to do that a little later in the week. But I think the build quality, the materials and construction are equivalent. They did a fantastic job with this. And it's smaller. I think it's going to hold up better than the Folio Society, which was limited. So there's always the collector draw to have one of the 1,000 copies for Folio. There's no limitation statement on this set. I don't expect it to be a small number, like 1,000 copies. This is going to be printed. It's going to be reprinted, assuming sales are good, which I heartily recommend they do so. I think everybody should seriously consider the set.
Sales will be good. It's Lord of the Rings. Sales will be good.
Sales will be good.
Let's see. Is the note on the text by Hammond Hammond, Skull and Anderson included? I mean, I would assume so. It's got to be.
I saw it before. Let's.
Yeah. It's got to be. It's got to be the 2004 text. I would assume.
Yep. So yeah, there's no limitation saying this is limited at all, but it does have the number 1. So as they go to reprints, we'll see the print number should go up. So there is the forward to the second edition.
And no note on the
And
text.
there is no note on the text here. I think they've,
They've
because
dropped it now. I think it's
Hammond
gone.
and Skull's editing of, the edition
Oh.
has far enough in the past now that I think they no longer feel that the note on the text is necessary to explain changes, because it's been since
It's been 20
1992,
Yeah, it's
22 years.
I think they're probably going to do a deluxe edition of the note on the text by itself.
A little booklet.
Yeah, deluxe leather booklets. Just the
Yeah.
note on the text.
that would
Yep.
be funny if they did that. That's interesting. That's interesting that it's not in there. I mean, I get y'all's reasoning as to why it's not, but that's just I would just have assumed it's in there.
Yeah, it's not in all the new Lord of the Rings. Only some of them actually have that.
I have obviously haven't been paying enough attention.
Yeah, we'll have to do a full textual analysis on this. I'm sure there's been some errata cleaned up. When they do new releases like this, they probably fixed a couple of typos, and we'll have to see what things are looking like there. But I'm just flipping through the index, which does have Skull and Hammond's note on the index on how it was put together. All the appendices look good. Yeah. $20 set people are asking about. Which one is that? I might have it behind me, but
that's the one with the dust jackets that are illustrated by Alan Lee.
Yeah, and the Hobbit as well.
That came with the Hobbit.
This one's going back further, I think. I can compare to this one, which is, I don't know if this is the set we're looking for, but
That's similar.
it's similar, but this one's too far back.
That's the 2002 set.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's on white, very bright white paper, because they use the same paper for the text and the illustrations, which they have not done here. I actually find reading the text on the bright white paper used for the plates is hard. So I actually like that they've gone with the more slightly cream colored paper for the text, and then the plates are on their own white tipped in pages. So you can kind of see it better here with the again, hard with the lighting quality, but you can see the little bit different colored paper because the plates are tipped in on separate paper. They're not part of the gatherings of the text. They're dropped in. They don't even have page numbers on them, right? The text goes from 160 to 161. So these are just inserted on their own paper.
Let's see. We're getting questions about limitation. I mean, it's not like it's not a limited edition. I mean, if you want a first printing, I guess you can think of it as a limited edition that way. But they will this will be reprinted.
Almost.
I expect this
for
a long time. Yes,
this edition will be in print for years.
Yep, and we've not seen any numbers on this, but I'll go out on a limb and say thousands of copies of the first impression of this, both the US and the UK.
Right.
I think it might be, say, 3,000 each. Probably would be a good starting point for them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good guess. That's probably in the neighborhood. Maybe a little more, but I would say that's probably right.
Yeah. Case, I had another question on if I could only keep one of the limited edition. She's got in air quotes, and I agree, because this is not really a limited edition, but for a reasonable amount of money, again, we're talking a few $100s. This is a fantastic set. This is going to be definitely one of the keepers. You probably noticed as I'm looking around, I don't keep everything. I don't buy everything. This one I've been interested in for probably the last 9 months when they first announced it. I'm extremely happy with it. It's a keeper for me. It's not the same materials that you would see with the super deluxes, like the Children of Hurin and the Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, which were full leather, fantastic quality. But those were at the time, which is 15 years ago, those were 350 pounds, so like $400. And just on inflation, that's twice the cost of this set, right? The materials they use were different quality than what you can get in. And again, this is a fantastic set, but it is mass produced. This is not hand bound like a super deluxe would be. It's a manufactured set, but it's really good quality. I'm extremely happy with it so far. Again, we're missing. Yeah, it looks great. We're missing a plate count. We need to go through once we're not live streaming and.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll get that on the site.
Yep.
As soon as we can.
Absolutely. We'll have
and we're certainly doing a comparison with the two behind me as well. Those two books will be compared. Those two sets will be compared with it. Just to show what is different in this version.
Yeah. I agree. Someone mentioned hoping for a Hobbit. I will not be surprised if there's a matching Hobbit that comes out.
There will be. There will be. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, to follow the pattern, Folio Society is doing a limited edition of The Hobbit, which will go on sale in November, and then I expect HarperCollins. If this pattern continues, there will be a Graphicom printed HarperCollins version of the folio. So the folio will be limited, and then HarperCollins will do a slightly more widely available version of it in about a year. So around this time next year, perhaps.
Right. Well, I think we're going to be wrapping it up here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. This was a lot of fun. And thank you to William Morrow and HarperCollins for sending the book.
Absolutely.
So we can have a look at it.
Very excited to see this. It is available for pre-order from major booksellers. The U.S. edition comes out in exactly 1 week, and the HarperCollins UK edition is on October 10th, so a little more than 2 weeks, but I would not be surprised if they start shipping them 3 or 4 days before that release date. So thank you all for coming. This has been a lot of fun. This video will stay up online for people to watch some more, and as we mentioned a couple times, we'll have some articles up on the website with more detailed information after we've had a chance to do a deep dive, which takes too much time to do on a live stream. But thank you, everyone. It's been great. Really appreciate it. We will talk to you all again soon, hopefully. Oh, and that reminds me, little sneak tease here of October 15th. Be sure to come back. We will be live stream chatting with Wayne Hammond and Christina Scull about the collected poems. So that will be a little more than 2 weeks from now. So see you then.
Bye all.
Bye everybody.
Bye all. Thank you.